We are headed to the farmer's market this morning, which we don't usually do. I mean, sometimes we do, but I feel like in the past we just go for vibes. But today we are also going for vibes, but we are going with the intention of getting some good produce, because if you watched my last video, I mentioned I was dealing with some health issues regarding the tummy area. And I'm officially an IBS girly. We are kickstarting my journey to really just remedy a lot of the symptoms I've been having and take care of myself better. So a lot of that starts with what I am eating. You already got some fresh milk for me, which is great.
We're trying to get more raw milk.
Yes, yeah, because dairy is the big thing that they said to cut out. So for 2 weeks I will be doing no dairy and then reintroducing it to see if that was a big trigger for me.
Even though we didn't crush milk before.
No, but I did notice, like, when I would get regular milk in my lattes,
Definitely.
like a year ago, that I was like, I don't feel amazing. So yeah. I really have been an almond milk girly for like maybe the last like 6 to 8 months in my lattes. So that's been like my small change. But obviously, like, I've been eating cheese. I just haven't been tracking what I'm eating. So a food log is also on my radar of something to start doing, just to see how I feel after eating certain foods. But my doctor was saying, like, the number one thing is usually dairy, and then gluten is second, but definitely cut out dairy to start and see how you're feeling. So that's what I'm gonna do. But if there are any fellow tummy warriors, feel free to drop suggestions or things that have helped you in the comments. The tough thing about IBS, if anyone else has it, knows that it's such a case-by-case situation. So what works for some people may not work for other people, but I am open to trying anything at this point. And I'm excited to start to really connect it with my body more and learn my body better and see what works or doesn't work for me. But yeah, we're gonna go to the farmer's market. We're gonna have a good old time, and I'll talk to you guys later. Trying a new angle here, very much exposing myself. My unmade bed is on the ground, literally in our room, with the TV on the floor, holding my Theragun. I don't really know what this indicates, but it's just who I am. You're here, actually. You're stationed where you're at because I am charging my camera, and this is just the outlet that I picked, and I figured let's just start chatting, you know. And that TV's there because it used to be on a bookshelf that, if you watched a previous video, it is now in the guest room. And so that is now there. You know, sometimes if I'm laying on McLean's side of the bed and I'm watching it like out of the corner of my eye, it can be really nice. Just kidding. Anyway, we don't know if we're gonna be moving soon. So we're kind of like, do we want to get a whole new console or a new thing for the TV? If it's gonna fit where we go next. So we're just waiting. I didn't catch up after the farmer's market, but we got some nice fresh eggs, some sourdough, and I got a bouquet of flowers from a little stand that is super pretty and on my bookshelf out there right now. McLean got a bagel, and McLean got a pretzel, which, if you know McLean, you'd be like, oh, yeah, makes sense. Wait, something's coming. See, that is awesome timing. This, my friends, is a gin and tonic. McLean and I's favorite cocktail. Could you even call it a cocktail? Because it's like 2 things, but yes, no, we're gonna call it a cocktail. A few things. I actually feel like I might tear. He's so thoughtful. This is just what he does. So, I haven't had one in a while, actually, because of my aforementioned tummy issues. I have been limiting the alcohol, but I just was craving one today. And I wanted one, and I've been laying low on the alcohol, so I'm just gonna sip on this one. But that is very good. Brand reached out to me, which I'm very excited about. Beekeepers Naturals. If you haven't heard, They, let me pull this up so I don't butcher what they do. They literally have stuff like for your immune system and your gut. So I was like, yes, send my way. Powered by Propolis. Just like basically Beekeeper's Naturals. It's a lot of like stuff from honey and like from the original hive. They have like lozenges. I'm so sorry that you had to see that. I picked 3 products. I picked the gut one, obviously. I picked the brain focus one because McLean, my sweet baby McLean, has ADHD and has been looking for natural ways to supplement his focus. I think I picked the immune support one too. So very excited to review all that once it comes in. But all that to say is that farmer's market, we got some stuff. A brand reached out to me. I'm going to try some new stuff. I'm hopeful and I'm going to figure out what works for me and what I need to do. But it's going to be a little bit of a journey. I want to give you a book update. I am back, baby. I am reading again. And any book that is simultaneously very good, fast-paced, keeps me turning pages and gets me out of a slump, 5 stars. I've been slacking. I had to move my goal down from 100 to 60. That's where we're at right now, which I know it's still, like 60 is still a lot. But last year I read 85 books. So like naturally I bumped it up to 100. And I am only at like 40 right now. So, well, that's not true. I read 2 books in this series that I'm going to talk about. So I'm probably at 42 right now, but I just want to double check my status officially. 41. Dang. Tough. 41 out of 60, but I'm only 1 book behind schedule. And honestly, a couple of the booktubers and book talkers that I follow have said similar things, that they are also not reaching their goal. Book Talk took off, booktube took off, everyone kind of went wild, and it was like reading as a sense of content. And then you kind of like, I feel like it's not sustainable because it's just like life. Like you don't always get the luxury of sitting down and reading. I mean, some people like it's their full-time job because that's the content that they create, and that's amazing. Life gets in the way and you just don't read as much. So, and again, with posting more on TikTok and Instagram and like trying to get my content more out, like that takes up a lot of my evenings and my time. Since being back in my reading game, I will say, like, I remember like, oh, this is why I love it. Like it's such a good escape, and when you read a good book. First one I checked out through my local library that was on Libby, and the second book was unfortunately not on Libby and cost money, but it was so good that I bought it. I bought it on Kindle. I bought it because it was worth it. And it was also just as good. And there's 2 more books that I will have to buy because they are not on Libby or free. An Ember and the Ashes series. So this is the old cover, so people probably won't recognize it. If you actually see it in store, it's red. I've seen it in Barnes & Noble. And then I just finished the second one last night, A Torch Against the Night. And I am vying for the third one, which is A Reaper at the Gates. The main character is Laia, or Leia, L-A-I-A, open to interpretation. She's a slave, she's a scholar, she's a part of an empire that is being ruled by people called the Marshals. She finds out that her brother is doing something kind of shady, kind of seedy, worth their home being invaded by the Marshals and by these superior ranking officers, if you will, called masks, which undergo, it kind of gave me Fourth Wing with the different years of schooling that are really harsh training, that are basically formed and honed into like these brutal, unfeeling warriors, if you will. Her brother is unfortunately captured, and she ends up finding the resistance that is fighting against these marshals and begging for her brother's release, or like, no, begging for her brother to be released, like, can you help me? And she ends up becoming a spy in the marshals world at like the school that the masks are trained at. Am I doing a good job? There she meets Elias, who is a mask, one of the top masks, arguably, and much like Fourth Wing, who has a parent that's a very high commanding officer. So I was like, but this book came out way before Fourth Wing. And dare I say, felt a little bit better. He is a mask, and he's actually planning to desert. Like, he hates being a mask. Like, he is just like too empathetic, hates the brutality of it. So basically they realize that their destinies are intertwined and like it goes from there. So there's 4 books. The first book was like, I was captured from like the very first page. I was like, okay, need to know what happens to these people. And then the second book had some slow moments, but honestly, ultimately I was like, those are the books that got me back into reading, or out of my reading slump, if you will. I have some books that I feel like are very summery that I want to read before the season changes. I still really need to read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. That's really the only one. I know in my previous video I talked about a no spend, so that was obviously violated by purchasing the book. But you know what, like I said, we must be realistic in the pursuit of our goals, and if I was going to spend money on something, the power of knowledge and learning, and a $6 book compared to like a very expensive piece of clothing. Just saying. Just saying. I'm gonna go scrounge up some food for myself, drink my G&T, and then what do you say we reconvene back later and we do some nighttime skincare together? And by then I probably will have purchased the 3rd book and we'll have started it. And so we'll be able to give my full thoughts and feelings about that. Let's get ready for bed, shall we? I ran out of the big version, so this is the mini version that I have left. It really just removes makeup so well. A few things I have found remove my makeup as well as this, especially like my mascara. And then I just gently wipe it off. And then Target was having a buy 3 get 1 free of all their little cute minis, which I fell for, obviously. One of the things that I got was this Curology gentle cleanser, so that's what I've been using to wash my face at night. And then just because I love this stuff, I like to go in for good measure. Just fresh. I need the Good Molecules Hyaluronic Acid Serum. So I really don't use an abundance of products, which I feel like is good. But when you watch a lot of the influencers and people out there doing their skincare, you're kind of like, am I missing something? But no, you're not. Do what's best for you and your skin. Then I take this slushy from In Beauty. It's a hyaluronic acid serum. So light, water-based, cooling. I've been using the Retinol Remix from In Beauty serum as well. It's like a weird orange color. Do not be alarmed. It's super light and gentle on the skin, and I have had like no real adjustment period while using it, which is really nice. But I have noticed a difference in the texture of my skin, which is great. I do this every other night. It's a Good Molecules Wake Up Eye Gel, but I use it at night, and I just use a little extra to moisturize underneath my eyes. I'll use it in the morning. I feel like it kind of messes up my concealer, honestly, so I like to use it at night to hydrate. And that's honestly kind of it. Brush my teeth, I put on some, like a little lip mask, and then I'm done. It's from Trader Joe's, the one I've been using. It's just their vanilla lip mask. I love it. It's like a good little glazed donut. That is my simple nighttime skincare routine. I'm gonna start heading to bed. I might read a little bit before I fall asleep, but I will see you guys either in the morning or very soon. Hello, I'm in my bathrobe at 2:30 in the afternoon because it's a remote day and I can do what I want. Not really on those days, but at least I'm at home in the comfort of my own home. I got some fall nails done yesterday because one nail started chipping off, and we all know what happens. If you're a picker like I am, they all start to go off. So I was like, I do not want to sit in my house on my couch and just continue to pick at them. So I made an appointment and I went after work yesterday. They're honestly insane. I cannot even begin to tell you like what kind of chrome this is. It's like an iridescent chrome, but the D&D gel color is strawberry wine. So I have Been hanging out today, done some work. Took my little nieces to the park, which was so fun. I got to see my sister. And I have been batching content for TikTok outfit ideas. I feel like most of my content has been, this is what I'm wearing to work that day. I don't have a lot of content that I've batched in advance because I don't really have the time to do that, because I usually film my outfits as I'm headed to my full-time job. As I've mentioned in a previous video, it's been definitely an adjustment learning how to do both. Today I had kind of a slow hour or two and I was like, let's just batch some content, make some videos. So I just know that I have something that I can just push out and that it's done. So I'm gonna be doing what I'm wearing this fall series. So the first one that I filmed was denim on denim. And then the second one that I filmed was cropped jackets. And then I'm hoping to get one more done, which I think will be striped denim. I actually have 3 different pairs of denim that has stripes on them, which is like very unique, but I'm trying to make myself wear them more. So it'd be really fun, I think, to style them and be like, oh my gosh, look at all these outfits that I created. And then I want to do either vests, because for those who know me, know I have a lot of vests. I love a vest. Or trousers. So we will see on that, but stay tuned. McLean and I may go out to dinner tonight, which is always fun. One night a week we try to, just whether it's the chillest thing in the world or like a nice, you know, like I said in my previous video, I follow the vibes. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be following the vibes tonight. So fall is upon us. I am looking for some fall cozy reads. I still have like some summer books to get through, like I said, just for the summer. But I am eyeing what's on my TBR that could be considered for a fall read. Let me show. I actually was gonna like film a TikTok of my recommendations for fall reads, which is ironic because this first one I have not even read myself, but I want to read it this fall. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I've heard really good things about it. I found this at a used bookstore and it's like the older cover, which I think is very cool. And so I'm excited to read it this fall. My nails kind of match, so we'd love to see that. The rest were just pure recommendations. If you've seen my previous videos, you know I love One Dark Window. It's a contender for my favorite book that I've read this year. So I loved the series. It was like unlike anything that I've read fantasy-wise up to this point, and I just thought it was so unique. And we have the same name, so, you know, support. The Dead Romantics, cute cover, cozy book. I love Ashley Poston. I have her book Novel Love Story on my TBR also that I need to read, but honestly, I will probably file that one in for fall because her books are so cozy. 7 Year Slip, I wouldn't say, that one felt way more like summery to me, but this one is cozy because it deals with ghosts. You'll just have to trust me on that one, but this was a 5-star read for me as well. Okay, so spoiler alert, like literally skip 10 seconds, well, probably more. Skip a couple seconds forward if you don't want to be spoiled. I mean, it's kind of common sense, like kind of like the romance that happens, but still. But when I thought about Ben, about his disheveled hair, his timid smile and soft voice, a heartstring pulled so taut in my chest it almost broke and it hurt, because I thought I could love him. Cautious and organized and stoic as he was, just as he was. He didn't need to fit into a perfect place in my life. He just needed to be. He existed, and the rest of my world made room. That, like, it's just like such a good line on just appreciating who your partner is, just as they are, and the intrinsic value that they have, just as they are. Moving on. Great. Oh. So these two, I have a couple, if people want mystery recommendations that aren't horror or scary, I do have a couple of those because I'm not a horror girly, but I do love some crime and I love a thriller. So this one I read in 2021, it's a bit older, it's 3 years old, but In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Weinstead. This one was very good. I think I rated this one 5 stars when I read it. Would I now? I don't know, but it would probably still be 3 or 4. Very good kind of whodunit mystery, but generally like the whodunit, it was not even like, well, I don't know if that would like set you up to like spoil it then. I was surprised. Okay, I was surprised. This is a Riley Sager stan account. Sorry if you don't like him. I really love him. Home Before Dark was so good. I really enjoyed it. It kind of gives Bly Manor on Netflix. Haunting at Hill House, was that what it's called? And I have Middle of the Night, his new one that just came out. I have not read that, so that will be added to my fall TBR as well. But this one I really enjoyed. Okay, 25 years ago, Maggie Holt and her parents. Okay, when a name is E-W-A-N, is it Ewan? Like, how do you say that? Ewan? Okay. Ewan? I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna say his name. Maggie Holt and her parents and Jess moved into Bainbury Hall, a rambling Victorian estate in the Vermont woods. 3 weeks later, they fled in the dead of night, an ordeal later recounted in a nonfiction book titled House of Horrors. His horror memoir of the ghostly happenings and encounters with malevolent spirits became a worldwide phenomenon, rivaling the Amityville horror in popularity and skepticism. Today, Maggie is a restorer of old homes and too young to remember any of the events mentioned in her father's book. But she also doesn't believe any word of it. Ghosts, after all, don't exist. When Maggie inherits Bainbury Hall after her father's death, she returns to renovate the place to prepare it for sale. But her homecoming is anything but warm. People from the past, chronicled in the House of Horrors, lurk in the shadows, and locals aren't thrilled that their small town has been made infamous thanks to Maggie's father. Even more unnerving is Bainbury Hall itself, a place filled with relics from another era that hint at a history of dark deeds. As Maggie experiences strange occurrences straight out of her father's book, she starts to believe that what he wrote was more fact than fiction. It's just cool because it's like obviously a book itself, but some of the book is his book, so it goes back and forth. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so Vicious, a novel love story, Middle of the Night. I want to read When a Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, so that's my one to read. Oh, Half a Soul. I did buy this at a bookstore in Nashville, so that's on my fall TBR as well. That Belladonna I heard is very similar to One Dark Window, and since I loved One Dark Window, I thought I'd give Belladonna a try, so that is also on my TBR, so I can add that to my fall list. I thought I could end this little video, by taking you book shopping with me. Let's go browse and see if we can find anything that's on our TBR in store, hey. But when I say in store, I mean a used bookstore that's near me that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and then I can sell books, and also like books are at a much discounted price. It's amazing. It's amazing. So that's my plan. So I will unfortunately get out of my bathrobe, as comfy as it is, and get dressed, and let's go get some cute fall books for our TBR.